Good morning, tubes, and I'm back in the garage again, and you can see my breath. Winter's definitely set in, so we've got the log burner going. Today we're not working on the MG, we're not working on the Mini, we're going to work on the Capri. Over the past couple of weeks since I've been moving it in and out of the garage, obviously not used it, it starts to have a misfire, so we're just going to drain the oil. I've checked the coolant's fine. I'm just going to drain the oil, take all the plugs out, make sure they're okay. I think I've got a new set to go in there, so we'll change the plugs today and just make sure that's generally okay. Obviously the Capri you've not really seen on the channel because I've not really done any work on it, but it is basically one of my pride and joys. I don't use it because I love the car so much, really, that's one of the reasons, and I've got enough stuff to do, namely with that. But yeah, so she's going to get some love. There's nothing wrong with it, it just basically needs its misfire sorted and that's it. It could go for an MOT and it will pass. It's done 5 miles since its last one, but got enough to do. So anyway, let's pull this Capri in. So as you can hear, something doesn't sound right, but you listen when I rev it. Running on leg. Yeah, she's running on leg. So considering there's been nothing's been done on the car, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the oil, which has not been dropped for a couple of years now because I've not used it, and we'll check the plugs, and if I have got a set, which I believe got a load of new old stock. So, if these are the right ones, which I'm pretty sure they are, BPR 6ESs, I've got a funny suspected feeling these are the correct ones. We'll slap a new set in. See how clean she is underneath. I spent a lot of time and money on this car. So let's give you a bit of history on how that came to be in my hands. So, circa probably 2006, I wanted a Capri because I kept seeing them. I still had the MG, obviously, both MGs. And I saw a blue one locally sold in Mansfield, which was a 1.6 laser standard, with basically a broken engine. I bought it, put a 205 block 2 litre S engine in. Well, it wouldn't have been an S, I don't think, no. One of the later engines being a 205 block. Anyway, it was a 205 block, fully rebuilt. It cost me 300 quid. Those are the days we get a fully rebuilt 205 block for 300 quid. Put that in, drove it around for a couple of years and everything. Took it out on Christmas Day and it broke down. And I was having a little bit of a love-hate relationship with the car anyway, so I decided to get rid. And literally it sold within minutes, and sold for a decent price. I didn't lose any money on it, so I'm fine with that. Anyway, so yeah, sold that, and literally as soon as it drove down the drive, I was like, oh, I don't really want to sell the Capri, I don't really want to sell it, I want to keep it, but I was determined not to have another one straight away, so I went through a couple of MG midgets. I even bought an MGF, bought and sold a few cars with the money, made some more money. Then I saw a 2.8 like this doing some donuts. I thought, oh, I want one again, I've got to have one, and I wanted a 2.8. Looked at a few, nearly got shafted over by someone in Sheffield for one, being they were just dodgy, which for some reason Ford seemed to bring out dodgy people, I don't know why. And then this came up in Wisbeach on Old School Ford. And believe it or not, it was 1,800 quid, and it came with, no word of a lie, it came with a transit van full to the ceiling of parts. Now, there's a few of the bits are up here. These two are basically all Capri bits. There's a few in that one. That one's got Capri bits in it. And up in my loft, I've basically got a full interior for one of these. I put the better interior in. The one thing I did get with it, which was silly because I sold it, was the bonnet. I had another jet black bonnet, and it was mint. Absolutely, oddly enough, better than this one. What did I do? I went and sold it. But hey, I sold it to a nice lad. His car is still on the road. I'm getting ash everywhere because the burner's on. Sold it to a nice lad. So obviously, at least someone else got it. But yeah, I've got so many bits and everything. I used it up until 2015. Basically because the midget, the B was already done. I was wanting to do the supercharger conversion and everything. I thought it was silly point having two cars on the road, and this thing always lives inside as well anyway. You've seen in the background of every photograph and video, it lives inside, it never goes out. Used to leave it outside, but I had all the body work done, so she had full respray, so she's literally perfect. The only thing I don't like was I prefer the red on silver stripe, not the silver on red stripe. That's the only thing about this car at the moment which really bugs me, and I put those stripes on. The original ones were red on silver, and I think the red on silver looks better than the silver on red. But anyway, I used to use it daily. I used to go to work in this. And yeah, and like I say, up to 2015, the B got done, and the B's just had basically more time, more work done in it, and taking up more of my time. It does get MOT'd. It literally does a mile every year, really, for an MOT. Except I didn't MOT it this year. No, I didn't know. Passes every time. I've had to weld some pieces up. The area where your jack generally goes, your scissor jack or your lever jack, that area rots on them really bad, so I put new sections in, but I made it so you don't have to use one of those jacks, and we don't use one of the jacks because everyone's got one of these trolley jacks, so I've got a little trolley jack. Just silly using it because they're just a rot point, so I put some better, thicker steel in. Near the rear chassis, rear spring hanger, that was started to go, so I did that as well. Apart from that, that's all it needed. It's been lowered. It's on lowering blocks at the back, and the front generally sits a bit lower anyway because the springs are a bit older. But yeah, it never needs anything. I put a new radiator in it, and it's never even properly been driven on the road. It's only gone for an MOT with a new radiator on. Because the old core one, which is outside somewhere, I think, no, it's upstairs, the original one was a bit crap. There's a 205 fan in there to do the temperature control, but knowing what I know now, I will be going to a spout fan, far, far better, and it will mount up to this much better. It's a standard 2.8 litre Cologne engine that's in there. There has been nothing done to that. Generally, in terms of modification-wise, and in terms of if you compare to the MG, apart from wheels and lowering blocks at the back and that radiator, that's a stock car. Being a 2.8 special, she's limited slip diff. That's about it, really. Yeah, like I say, it's a good car. I enjoy it, and it's fantastic to drive. But I've got so many things and so many cars that it's just I just don't use it. But anyway, so there you go. There's a bit of history on how Nathan from GFB Development has a Ford Capri and why people never see it. Yeah, I apologise for people never seeing it, and yes, it's a fantastic car and everything, but I'm one man. I've got enough cars. So, but she's staying, definitely. Anyway, let's get on to draining this oil out, because I bet it's all manky and horrid. Alright, so she's a 13. There we go. Sorry if my noggin's in the way. Doing this in the garage doesn't matter if I spill a bit, to be honest. Yuck. If I remember correctly, they were a bit of a bugger to get to. The way around is it? Okay. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's have a look. a bit sooty. We'll give them a clean. Simply wire brush. I mean, they're not that old looking at him. BCP6RES. Okay, so they weren't going to be the ones I thought they were. Okay, what we'll do a bit of a speed up on me doing this, because there's no point in you watching me do all this, so see you in a bit. Okay, so I've just topped up the oil. Plugs are all done and clean. Still unsure about that HT lead, so if it still has a misfire, I will possibly change, or just check that lead. I think I've got a spare set somewhere, but of course, without you, because I haven't used the car for so long, where the heck those parts are is another one. Just let the oil just settle a bit. I've pulled the coil lead off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crank her just to build up some oil pressure, just to be doubly sure. And then we'll start her up and see if she's better. Run up temperature again and see if she's any better. Fingers crossed she is. So I will move the camera and we'll see what happens. Okay folks, let's just crank her over a couple of times. Looks like I've disconnected the coil, just to be doubly sure. Okay. Now let's see. Sound all right? That is fixed. Obviously what it sounded like before, what it sounds like now. So it's just basically dirty plugs. What we'll do is just check the rad that it's got enough fluid in it. Yeah, it's got enough fluid in it. There's that. Temperature. Look how disgusting that is. It's like water. Poor thing. Right, so what we'll do is we'll just get her up to temperature. There's a bit of oil smoke from where I missed a bit. Well, got on the manifold, but when I was doing the drain through. So we'll just get her up to temperature, and then that's it. She's done. decent. The fan works. Obviously we're getting a bit of smoke from all the water that dropped out. My own fault for being an idiot. But I reckon that's job done. I'll let it down, I'll back her out, and I think I might do some work on the MG. Obviously hit like, thumbs up, share the video, subscribe, everything else, and I shall see you in the next one. Peace.